I'm really glad to see Thom on the Cosmos Voice number 3. And friends, today will be so many interesting news about Astonic airdrop.
Yeah, so Vlad, thank you for introducing a little bit the topic for today. You know, I did my homework a little bit before the call. So, of course, I went to both of your projects. And, you know, I am aware about Astonic as a stable coin concept. And I am aware of your network, of Planq Network as well. So I've got a little bit of introduction from there. Now, I think, you know, even I must tell you that I am personally very interested about the topic of stablecoin. You know, I am like learning every day, you know, with Cosmos, I would say, and with Communtity. Yeah, it's very interesting to see what solutions for stable coins do we need. Even our project, you know, will need some kind of stable coin solution. So it's for me very interesting. Okay, so maybe we start though with a few words, you know, about yourself. You know, as always, yeah, a little bit of history, a little bit of bio, and just you know, tell us that story, how you get there, because each of us we have different stories, and all the stories are interesting. Please.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Thom. I am the project manager for Planq Network. Planq Network is a blockchain. We'll get into it in a little bit, but a little bit about myself. I've been in crypto for, I think it's like 3.5 years now. And first 3.5 years ago, I was just buying, I think it was like almost the top of 2021 when I started buying like a couple of coins. And then I found the Cosmos coin, and I really liked the staking because I wanted to generate a yield. And I started using Cosmos, so I sent all my coins from Sex to my Kepler wallet, and I got super addicted to it. I really liked how it all worked. I fell in love with the technology, and I think like half a year later, a new Cosmos chain launched, Planq Network, and I was following most of the new chains that were going online. And I saw that the owners or the founders were Dutch. So I sent them a message. I'm like, yo, I really like your idea, but I think your marketing sucks. I think your communication, it just sucks. I think I can do it better. And they were like, oh, you're Dutch. We're super interested. Let's hop on a call. And I started part-time. And I think 1.5 years ago, I went full-time crypto for Planq. So that's a little bit about myself. I live in the Netherlands. I'm 29 years old. I'm a big Cosmos maxi. Always have been. Yeah, that's pretty much like a rundown of me as a person.
Very nice. Thanks a lot for this introduction. And by the way, like what you were doing for living before you now full, you know, in Planq? Like what was you know, previous life, let's say?
Right. So I've always worked in IT. So first I was a product marketer for a Microsoft reseller. So we made different software for the construction industry. And I was the person that was communicating how the products would solve people's problems, very specific on like IT. And then I also did a year or so of product management. So that's kind of my background. I'm really good at maybe not live and in English, but in general, if I have the time, I'm really good at explaining really hard, complicated software to people where they most likely will understand what their benefit is. That's like the thing I really like. So that's my previous life. And before that, I used to work in a hardware store. I used to sell power tools.
Cool, cool, very interesting. Look, I would like to start. I know we have like 2 projects today to discuss, probably, and Thom, like, feel free to allocate appropriate time to each of them. Yeah, I was just thinking that given the fact that the stablecoin at the end is on top of the network, so I was thinking to start like from the basis, from the network itself. And when I checked a little bit like how the infrastructure is built, and what would you say about like differences and this focus on the mobile devices?
Right.
You know, how this focus on mobile is expressed, and is it expressed by organization and how the organization work and the focus of DAO, or it is also expressed in some way by technology, so something specific that is on top of the blockchain SDK based standard, and what is that aspect?
Right. So a little bit about the layer 1 then. Planq Network is a Cosmos SDK chain. We use EVM. We use EVM technology for smart contracts, so we're a Cosmos EVM chain. And the thing that Planq Network really does is we're a mobile-first blockchain. Our thesis is that most people that will get introduced to crypto, that will start using crypto, will likely do that on their mobile phone. That is because everyone uses their mobile phone already for their finances, for their stock investing. You use your phone for everything, right? And the people that really could use decentralized finance are people, for example, in Africa or Asia that don't have access to a PC, right? But they all have phones. So our logic is the most of the users, like 80% of the world, is on phone. We don't want to focus on making really complicated PC applications. So in the from the software side, I'll start there because that's the easiest. In general, you don't really need the technology is already kind of there. The Cosmos SDK is already quite light, and EVM technology is also quite advanced. So we didn't really need to do too many adjustments to the software per se. Where we differentiate is that we launch things first on mobile phone. That's really important. And we are always developing with the mobile in mind. So instead of making things really complicated and making like super cool, maybe DeFi applications that use layers of crazy layers of like how they get yield and stuff, we are like, okay, so someone makes a wallet. How can we make it so that they don't even know that they're making a wallet? How can we make them log in without like all these crazy crypto steps? That's kind of how we differentiate, and that's how we work in the organization as well. When we decide we're going to make something, the first thing we ask ourselves is how can we extract as much of the complicated transactions, wallets, seed phrases, how can we get it out? You know, because it's not user friendly. No one gives a fuck that it's crypto or if it's not crypto, right? You want a really cool application that's decentralized that you can use whenever, wherever, and that's kind of how we go on that. And then from the technology side, we tend to use Flutter to make those applications, and that's like one of the easiest and most modular ways to actually build these mobile apps. So that's kind of a little rundown of the Planq Network and the mobile first aspect.
Thom, more I hear about your approach, more I like it. And jokes aside, but I was thinking, I'm going to contract you as a business consultant for the DAODISEO project. Actually, it was incredible to hear how you think about making things easier, right?
Right.
They are difficult now. We are still, as an industry, at the beginning, yeah. And for user adoption, really, like for, in our case, in our project is, let's say, architect who never had anything to do with crypto. and for that person, you know, everything is crazy, and you need to make like similarities and you know, metaphors for the person to get through, and you still have that that level of you know, scare. And you know, because those people are hearing every word that there are a lot of scams, they feel you know, insecure, right? So getting rid of all these you know, definitely unnecessary steps is a great thing to do. And if you are focusing on that, it seems like user adoption supposed to be smooth. And then on top, what I'm hearing is that you also selected this very specific target of you know, phone native people who don't necessarily have an access to the PC, which basically, you know, are, yeah, you mentioned Africa, I think some other locations as well, but those people are in some cases unbanked. So basically, we are offering them an account and to find themselves in the freedom of finance. Yeah,
exactly.
So this sounds really great. And may I ask you, like one step farther, you know, if you think about like a detailed kind of step-by-step process when you are creating a wallet in Planq Network as a user. So how it is happening and how you are achieving this objective of making things smooth.
Right. So we're personally not even there yet. We're still improving that process still. But for example, when you make a wallet via the Planq application, we try to push people towards doing it via Google or Apple. And we're also going to add other social logins. So you can create... I hope that I can convince the team that we're going to create accounts and we're not going to create wallets, because wallets is a little bit confusing. But we are going to allow people to create accounts with their email, Discord, Telegram. All these things can kind of be linked, and even a phone number can really easily be linked. And it's quite secure because you get like a text and then you are on your phone, so you obviously get that text, right? So those are some things that we try to do to make it really easy. So those are the really the first steps. The other steps we're going to do to actually get people to use our applications is in this quarter, we are going to add a feature to our mobile application where, for example, I have only your phone number. You have never used crypto. I will send you 50 USD. You don't have a wallet. I just send it to your phone number, right? The 50 USD gets locked in an escrow. And the second that you get a text like, yo, 50 USD is waiting for you, download this app and link your phone number. You can download the app, log in with whatever. So Google, Facebook, I don't care what you log in with. We're going to give a bunch of options. And the second that you link your phone number, you get the 50 USD credited to your account. Those are the kind of things we're looking to do where your community helps adopt people, because they might be like really excited about crypto. And for example, your nephew isn't yet. And for his birthday, you're going to give him 50 USD or 50 AUSD, Astonic USD. Imagine him downloading the app, claiming the money. You onboarded someone to crypto and he didn't have to do all the crazy steps with the seed phrases and stuff like that. So those are the kind of things we're trying to build into our wallet application, so to say, to make it much more interesting for people. Apart from that, what I really want to do, and I'm not sure if we can do it development-wise, is for Binance, you have like Binance and Binance Pro, right? I'm not sure if you ever used that app. What I really would like to do at some point is have like Castrum, that's our wallet, and then Castrum Pro. And if you put on Pro, you get all the crypto bullshit. And if you just use Castrum, we try to stay away from as much of the crypto jargon as possible. So let's think of a word that's more explanatory than staking. Because what the fuck is staking? You and I know, because we're in crypto. We know what staking is. Your nephew's not going to know what staking is, right? So that's something that's definitely on our to-do list. And a last thing I would like to say is what I at some point want to do, if it's safe, is make gasless and TX-less transactions. So no longer you need to accept these crazy fucking messages. That's also something I think is very complicated. I think most chains don't really make that much of fees anyways, and you could also subsidize those fees. We could also do it like, hey, you're gonna use the Planq wallet. If you burn 20 Planq now, for the rest of the month you can do gasless transactions. Stuff like that is really where I want to go, to make it much more like your banking app and much less like this crazy app, right? So those are some things, and we're not there yet on everything, but we're chugging along.
Yeah, Thom, really very, very interesting. The way you speak about prioritizing really the user experience and making sure that this is useful and understandable for users, and really creating application for everyone, not only for our crypto colleagues. And of course, I must say that it took me some time to understand stake as well, especially, with all these differences between different chains.
Right.
And, people who are approaching to our industry, and let's say they see a portfolio of options for investment, and now suddenly someone is paying, I don't know, maybe 10%, and some other guys are paying 1,000%. So
right.
for the person, who is just landing on our industry, it's really difficult to grasp, because you just don't see it out there in the traditional world. So you have a feeling that you enter into the kind of gambling area, yeah. And even though the gambling is okay, but not everyone wants to gamble, yeah. So that's very, very nice. I like what I am hearing. And look, because we spoke a little bit now about this user interface, and how the users will be using the network eventually, how they will be experiencing this. But of course, as any network, you have this, I would say, a challenge in front of you to organize your DAO. And then, to make sure, of course, that the network is resilient, together with your validators, and then also how this governance work, where typically in the DAO you have like several layers of some kind of groups of people, so-called stakeholders. Yeah.
Right.
So every network, they have this kind of organization, as much as decentralized, around certain concepts or certain stakeholders. Yeah. So how this is organized in the Planq queue?
Right. So we have a setup very similar to many Cosmos chains. So we have a proof of stake network where you have a validator set. I think we have 70 validators or something. It was shrinking a lot. A lot of people were winding down their Planq validators, but now we have like 6 new ones, especially from like the post-human Russian community. There's like a big validator community there as well. And then we have, of course, the delegators and many things that if we want to do something, it needs to happen via governance, right? So we have like a governance setup where validators and stakers can help us decide the future of the network. But that's like the really obvious thing. What we are exploring now is to also do community DAOs. So what we're looking to do there is, for example, we would have Planq. I'm just going to call it Planq, I don't know, Russian. It doesn't need to be Russian, but maybe Russian speaking, right? Russian speaking world. And that sub-DAO will then have like a appointed leader and a community behind that. And they can also do like events and governance on a local level. They could also develop things. They could develop like mobile applications that are really useful in their world. So that's kind of where we're trying to go. The reason is because currently And that's like a weak point of Planq. A lot of development comes from the foundation. And we, of course, have limited resources, right? You need to pick and choose what you're going to build. And with the community DAO, we hope to incentivize people to join like these local communities, so Planq Africa or whatever, and start developing their own stuff and be funded from the Planq Network. So those are kind of things we're looking to do within governance. And apart from that, every big update, every big decision, that's going through governance. So people can vote. One Planq, one vote.
Yeah, cool. I mean, so many questions are coming to my head, and let me. Would you elaborate a little bit about like tokenomics and how these work? And when I came to Cosmos, many chains, they were speaking about like maximum supply, and
Right.
as you move forward and you know more, then you realize that Cosmos does not have max supply. And then, of course, we learn about inflation. We learn about, how different parameters of the chain works. So what are those kind of principles that you adopted as a chain, which are more related to the economics of
Right.
of the network, and eventually the status of your coin, of course, and how you manage in one hand this growing potential value of the network versus new coins coming to the market. Yeah, so how you are managing all these.
Right. So I think we have decent tokenomics, but of course there's no we don't have a winner yet, right? In crypto, we have one winner, and that's 21 million Bitcoin. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. So that's like the winning tokenomics. So what we have is for Planq, currently the total supply is 138 million Planq. And that's uncapped. So we don't have a cap. And there is a reason for which I'll go in a second. And then we have inflation of, I think it's like 5%. So 5% new tokens every year, and that's for stakers and validators. And the reason we didn't do a max supply is two reasons. First of all, we can always do a max supply via governance. If the community really wants that, if the community says we really want a max supply, we will listen to the community, we will do a governance, and the tokenomics will change. That's just possible, right? The reason we don't have a max supply, say, for example, that we would say we have a max supply of 1 billion, right? And we currently have 138 million. That's 6 million tokens per year. So that means that in like 70 years, we will reach our max supply or something crazy like that. That's the same as uncapped. 70 years. And in the 70 years, there's probably going to be a governance upgrade anyway. So a lot of those crypto projects that have like 200 million tokens in supply and then have 1 billion market cap, 1 billion tokens max supply, and then 5%, it's the same. It's essentially unlimited. We really looked at Solana and stuff like that to decide our tokenomics. That's kind of what it was based on, I believe, the first time around. We had quite a big inflation, so we put that down because we had a lot of sell pressure and we were overpaying for our security. But that's kind of our tokenomics. Everything is unlocked for us. There are no venture capitals in Planq, so there are no surprises really. The team has a bunch of tokens, but on these levels, it's not worth to sell for us, of course. And apart from that, all the tokens are in circulation, so no more surprises for us. We're 100%, how do you call it? Floating. We have 100% float, so that's kind of our tokenomics, our look at it. I think personally, max supply is a little bit of a meme, except if you're Bitcoin. Best case scenario for Planq is that we burn more than 5% of our tokens every year. That essentially makes Planq deflationary. The module that Ethereum has to burn tokens every time there's a transaction, we also have that. So in theory, if we had enough people using our blockchain, Planq eventually could go negative. So, but we need many, many, many more users for that. I don't think that's going to be there for a long time, but maybe Planq will become the thing, the Dutch blockchain, who knows, and we get a lot of adoption, and then we could go deflationary sometime. And we're just listening also to the community. I think these are the tokenomics we think are really good, and I've had some compliments on these tokenomics, but we're definitely just keen to listen to the community if they really want a max supply, because it's like a mental thing, right? You can explain every single person that max supply doesn't mean anything, but will they listen? Will they understand? Will they all ask? Probably they will not all ask. So
yeah, definitely. And I need to make a kind of additional caveat because I mentioned this max supply concept, but I am very conscious that for a good reason, actually, the standard SDK does not have a maximum supply,
right.
which in the first place should make us think like what was the desire of the creators, and I have a feeling that those guys are very smart, and the reason probably why they didn't do it, because this way the system is far more flexible. And as you said, you could adopt different configurations, which actually, could be more or less deflationary if you play right with the parameters. And it doesn't matter really that you have or not the max supply. Yeah. Right. So, what about curiosity? I'm asking all the projects about this, and I think I'm asking this because of my own struggles when I see our own project and thinking about transparency and showing all the wallets and saying, look guys, the tokens are here, and those are the addresses, and behind this address is this concept, whatever that concept is. Yeah. That concept could be group of people, or sometimes one person, but right. It's good to know. It's good to know if we have a whale, right? So it's a kind of thing that I was reflecting a lot about these, for our own project, for DAODISEO, what we should do. And, we were thinking about transparency and kind of showing, we think that this would benefit actually the network, because then, right. It's an additional level of trust. And definitely. Then, people see that there is an alignment eventually between this, what you are communicating as a concept, and the, and the share of tokens. Yeah. So what is your opinion on that? And
I love it. I think it's really cool. I think, you proactively are showing that you have nothing to hide. I think that's something that the Planq Network also really is. We also do it like that. Like, we have nothing to hide. We'll proactively tell you guys everything that's going on. I think that's I personally think that's a really good way to bootstrap a really core community. And also, when something happens, people can just check what happened, instead of going to Telegram and saying def why coin go down, def why coin go down when pump. You can see okay, this wallet sold, or this wallet transferred, and it's for this reason. So I definitely think if you get a good doc going and you just link it to people, full transparency, do a monthly transparency report. That's not something we're doing, but I do think especially for a DAO, that would be, I would really appreciate that. Definitely. I would be more comfortable putting my money in a project that doesn't hide, or not necessarily hide, but proactively is showing me their wallets, all the wallets they know of. They can tag all the wallets on the Explorer. I like it. I think it's good.
Perfect. Thank you, Thom. You are also kind of helping us to learn, and opinions of other people who have experience is priceless. So thank you for that, and it is encouraging me also to follow this approach in DAODISEO. Luke, is there is there anything that you would like to say about the kind of market strategy that you have? Like at which stage you are, because all our projects, we are always starting from somewhere, and there is a certain level of speed. You also have some, maybe milestones ahead that you would like to kind of reach, and maybe you a little bit also thinking about like a market itself. We all know it's not the same bull market and bear market. So how you approach those things, and at which stage are you now, and if anything interesting about the market strategy would be very much appreciated.
So one thing I really feel in this market is I am in a group with many of the Cosmos people in the same role as me, and we were discussing like, hey guys, I don't know what's up, but we have like insane news or insane updates, and we barely get any response. You don't see it in the token price or anything, and everyone kind of agrees that right now you can do a backflip and I don't know, pay Cristiano Ronaldo to, I don't know, promote your coin. It will not do anything. So what we are currently trying to do is to go as lean as possible, spend as little as possible, and just focus on communication, the community that's already there, being super transparent with them, and then partnerships and just developing. And because marketing right now, you're not really reaching anyone because there are no new people. Most people are burned. Everyone that is interested in crypto, almost everyone already has other capital deployed because they all thought it's going to be altcoin season. All my capital is deployed. I cannot buy any more altcoins. It's because I thought it was going to be bull run time. I was like, I'm going on a fat vacation after this, looking awesome. So that's really what we're trying to do, to not get not spend too much money on marketing, keep everything super lean, and just focus on development. Because I think when the people do return, and we do see a crazy altcoin run, I think Planq will have their money not spent, so we can spend the money on marketing. We can now think of all the ideas and then execute the ideas when it actually has impact. So that's kind of our strategy. One thing we do is we do not wait with product launches, because it makes you need feedback, and a product when you launch it, it's gonna be it's not gonna be perfect anyway. So I would say if you have like a small community, and I see some of our community here, like Mr. Skintillas is listening, like we just deploy it and then ask for feedback. We don't wait with product releases. And then we market those products as if they are new whenever people do return and are interested. So that's kind of our strategy.
Thom, it's a pleasure actually to hear what you are saying, because it's so kind of mature from your end. And, as I am hearing experience, I am hearing a kind of well thought and thinking. Very cautious. I am glad to hear that you are approaching your treasury with elegance, and you are thinking about the future and being able to continue. My own experience in the startups is that working capital is everything, and you cannot get a situation where you don't have any capital more. Right. So you better spend less, and you better think that it will take likely more time than you optimistically thought at the beginning, which typically is happening, right? So I think that's absolutely great. You made all my checks. If I would be venture capital, and then I would like to kind of be in your network, so I would say you had several green checks already. Yeah. Look, let me say, maybe it's a time to move to Astonic.
I think so.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I want to. Can I add one more thing to the go-to-market thing and stuff? I think one of the differences with Planq is that the owners of Planq Network, they're like OG Bitcoiners. They were around when Ethereum launched. They always wanted to do a crypto project. That's kind of what they really wanted to do. But for a long time, crypto, it wasn't taken serious. It was really hard to do anything meaningful. So they built several other very successful businesses. And that is a bit of the difference between Planq and many of those other projects. They raise a bunch of money and then spend, the VCs dump on the users and the project spends all their money. And then if the project doesn't work out, and there are many examples of that in Cosmos, well, the token goes to zero. The difference is that we are spending our own money. And if you're spending your own hard-earned money with whatever business, right? If you're spending your own hard-earned money, then what happens? You are actually careful about, hey, should we do this spending? Should we do this listing? You know, you're not spending someone else's money. And that's really, I think, something that people maybe don't respect enough about Planq Network. There's no VC capital. This is like legitimately hard-earned money. We're trying to do a crypto blockchain that adds value. And if you are looking to join a community where you can spam when listing, when marketing, when this, when that, I don't think Planq is the project for you. You should just go to some VC chain and watch them spend like 100 million on some hackathon, and then they get like no fucking software out of it. That's like, yeah.
Thom, I love it. I love it, really. I mean, yeah, that level of responsibility is actually hard to find.
Right.
So, you know, I will be definitely recommending already your project, you know, to people. I mean, if you do everything you just said, that's, you know, very, very promising. And of course, in order to do something, first you need to even be able to express that. And you, definitely, you know, you have your things in order, let me say this way, and that's lovely, and I wish the network, you know, the best. And by the way, I will enter also there and see how I could participate. You know, it sounds really, really interesting. So if you don't mind, 1 second, there was a question from the crowd. So I think it was Gleb. Gleb, you want to ask the question, I think.
Yeah, hello guys. Thank you for this amazing presentation, Tom. Thank you, Greg, for letting me to speak. I just want to elaborate more about the beauty of the transaction. So this is like the essence of the project. And could you say more words about how the transaction is initiated and what are possible future steps to, I don't know, to connect it with interim banking system processing, when you kind of connect transaction with the message, and people could create a wallet or bank account just from the link. So let's speak about the transaction, because I believe this is like the best kind of business process that could be updated in the crypto sphere. And this is amazing, guys, that you are doing this process. Yeah.
Right. So what happens is you send, I'm assuming you are speaking about the, when you, for example, just send money to a phone number, right? And the money gets...
That's right. Email, message, phone number. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm obviously not a developer, but I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can. If I send 50 USD, it goes to a smart contract that holds the money and checks every several seconds if there is a phone number, for example, that has connected to a wallet. So, for example, I send it to your phone number, you make a wallet, and you connect your phone number to that wallet. Then after a couple of seconds, the contract checks, hey, is this phone number now in our database? If the if it's yes, you get the money. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. And then that's kind of like the base process we have. It's a cool feature. We've had a lot of people already saying like, okay, that's a cool feature, but it's also very limited in use, right? I know that. It's like, okay, you want to send money to someone who doesn't have crypto. That also doesn't happen every day. It's cool that we are making such features. From there, you can do a lot of different processes. Ideally, we would use a partner of ours to, for example, connect your crypto wallet to your bank account. And then if someone would send money to your crypto account, it could automatically send it to the bank account. That's kind of processes we're thinking about. That's also like scary processes because it's like TradFi. And I think if you're going that far, we need a version of the Planq wallet that's KYC'd, right? Which I am super open for. I think it's cool if you download like a decentralized application and you have like a bunch of features, and then if you KYC, you get more features. So those are some things we're thinking about. If you have any like other questions, I'm happy to try and explain some more.
That's really amazing. I believe you should go to somewhere. In places where infrastructure is not so developed, and for example, Africa. This is a good place because many potential partners could be open to provide you agents agreements, and the network and solutions gateways could grow faster.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's cool features that we can use, and in essence, a wallet address is also a bank account, right?
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Thank you, Gleb, for asking the question. That was actually very nice, and additional information was provided. So very much appreciate that. Okay, so let's move to the stablecoin, Astonic. Yeah, Thom, reset a little bit, I guess. But of course, still stablecoin on Planq. So first of all, tell us, everyone is interested on stablecoin. Now, of course, we know what is going on in US. We know that everyone is kind of pushing to organize this space. Of course, there is a lot of talk. And different projects are starting, with stable coins. What is in general your own approach? First things that come to my mind, of course, is what is backing the coin. That's first. And then, of course, are you kind of strategy is more, okay, I need stable coin on my network, therefore better I will create one. Right. Or is something that you also want to propagate and make it bigger beyond your own network? What is your own approach to all this?
Right. Okay. So Astonic is a decentralized stablecoin platform on the Planq Network. It is currently being developed by a bunch of developers that are familiar with the founders from way back when. And back then, one thing in crypto, and I think a lot of people have forgotten this, was one thing was really important: decentralization, right? Having a decentralized money that if I want to send you 5 USD, I can send you 5 USD. And of course, there are lots of centralized stablecoins, and as long as you're in the Western world and you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, or your government isn't doing anything wrong, it's fine, right? You can use USDC and USDT, and I would even say that there are a lot of benefits for using that. But the fact is that they can just freeze your shit, right? So they can freeze your address, they can freeze your coins. So they really wanted to make a decentralized stablecoin platform on Planq because they also really liked our vision. They know that we have the same values. They really like the mobile first approach. So they came to us. They're like, okay, we're kind of keen to deploy a stablecoin platform on the Planq Network. I offered my services as they are like they're not necessarily looking to be in the spotlight. They just want to deploy the code and then join the DAO, right? So they just want to be in the DAO as well. So that's something we'll get into in a second. But that's kind of the idea behind Planq, decentralized stablecoin. Your question was, what is it minted by or backed by? So it's backed by, you can mint it with Planq, but you also can mint it with USDC, Noble USDC currently. And I believe their plan is to also add Atom. It will be the first basket. We can also, via governance, we can also already add Atom to the treasury. So it will be an over-collateralized stablecoin. It's nothing like Terra Luna. You cannot use Astonic's ATC to mint this stablecoin. It is impossible. So it's backed by a basket, or it's minted by Planq or USDC, and it's backed by a basket of assets. Over-collateralized, already said that, so it's decentralized. And I think you also asked, why did they build it? They came to us and we're like, okay, this is a great use case for the Planq coin. This is going to, it's going to be a use case for Planq coin, right? So of course we wanted it built on Planq. I think that stablecoins is the killer application of crypto, sending money, storing value, getting out of your crappy, super inflated local governance currency. So they're like, stablecoins are really good. We also really like the idea of mobile stablecoin payments and sending money to people. And then if you're going to send money, we might as well grow our own pie and also do the stablecoin, right? So that's kind of the whole idea. It really fit in well. And I think I answered most of your questions there.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for providing, these additional insights. And so, of course, as we are developing the conversation, I am also kind of understanding more and more. And especially, I think I understand, this relationship, special relationship between, the team of Astonic and the team of the Planq network, and the fact that you are sharing the values you had, maybe the past experience, and probably after some time reaching the conclusion that together would be actually good and safe to do it. So that's fantastic. Now, may I ask you one more question? And by the way, some of my questions are also coming to my mind as I am thinking about my own project. But many projects, I think, are struggling with that. Many projects need a kind of concept of vault. And, the vault could actually hold whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that, in the network, significant value is actually hosted by that vault. And that vault could be, more or less granular, and more or less accounts could be involved, in this vault, of course, but you need to organize this somehow. And then also the vault, needs to have an access to the vault somehow. You need that access to the vault. So typically people are solving these either by kind of professional vaults, or they are solving it by very decentralized multi-sig process. And what is happening in UK? Sometimes even you have a legal entity. You have a legal entity, and that legal entity, it could be some kind of special proposed vehicle. It could be, I don't know, in Emirates. It could be in Singapore, and then you are protected by that legal entity. How are you approaching this?
So all the funds and the community pool of Astonic tokens, all done by governance. So we have the Astonic coin ATC. We airdropped 30%. I think another 50% or something is, I don't know the exact tokenomics. But whatever the case, for example, we have 50,000 USDC and we use that as a reserve, right? And you want the reserve to stay there because it needs to be the reserve. If something goes wrong with the stablecoin, you need that money to peg it to the dollar, right? the only way we would be able to move that is via governance, and a lot of people would need to vote. So that's also why we did the airdrop of the Astonic token. We did a really big airdrop to most Cosmos communities so that the token would be extremely decentralized. And what you get with an extremely decentralized, actual decentralized token is that the team cannot just use their voting power to say, fuck you, we're going to move it anyway. I think a good example was Crypto.com, where they burned, I think, 800 million tokens. And then the strategic Bitcoin reserve came around from Trump, right? And then they reminted all the tokens for the purpose of getting that into the reserve. And the only people that voted yes were the team wallets. And that was the majority of the votes. But all other validators and all other community members almost voted no. That's crazy and not something that can happen with Astonic. If we were to wind down the stablecoin, I don't know in what reason you would, or for example, we would say, okay, we have 150k USDC. We want to get half of that in Ethereum. I don't know why we would do that, but I guess that's something that then we would need to do it all via governance. We would need to say, okay, this is the wallet of Thom. He is going to execute the transactions via this multisig. We also have trusted community member. I don't know, Cosmos ecosystem Floods is a trusted party. He will have the other multisig, right? So that's everything is going to happen via the governance portal. That's how Astonic is doing it.
Thank you, Thom. Another question coming to my head, in fact, I have a couple of them in my pipeline. One is a little bit kind of applicable for both, I think, for Astonic and the Planq project. What would be your future, ideal governance portal? That's that interface that will allow you to manage a complex structure of DAOs and sub-DAOs, right? Something like the DAO. For instance, I can tell you that DAODISEO is looking at DAO. Yeah. So what is your choice?
I think actually, if it was possible to easily do it, I think DAO is really close to perfection. I think it's pretty easy to navigate. You can make all the sub-DAOs and you can see all the members and you can follow all the pages you want. So I would say that is a interface that has done extremely well. I personally have not enough knowledge of DAO and governance structures currently to say that I have any idea how to improve on DAO. It's not something we are using because we don't run Cosmosm. So it's a little bit harder for us to join that interface. But perhaps in the future that would actually be super interesting. I think DAO is really well made. Kudos to the developers there. By the way, just a heads up, in 6 minutes I need to leave for 2 minutes because in the Netherlands today is Freedom Day, and we remember all the soldiers that have fallen for vindicating the Netherlands. So just so you know, in 6 minutes, I need to be right back for 2 minutes, and then.
Yeah, Thom. Even I am thinking that the right thing to do is actually to maybe even close at that time. Yeah, right. I think 1 hour is a good time.
That's right.
We could always organize a follow-up, if you believe that there are things which were not consumed, like topics.
Right.
And by the way, believe me, I think in some time we are going to invite you again because sure. I think it's really so interesting to hear what you are doing, and especially how you are doing it, and what type of approach do you have. Right. In these couple of minutes that we have, I have actually. Yes.
If it's possible to return after in 2 minutes, we of course will speak 2 minutes more because here is also several questions from the community, and I understand that the answer on these questions can take more than 5 minutes.
Sure. Let's do it. I'm keen to come on for another like 10 minutes after it. I think one thing I really want to hit on still is the Astonic presale. I think that's really important. So the 15th of May, Astonic will do a presale of their governance token. It's going to be both a governance and a utility token. So utility, that's like fee share and stuff like that. So I really invite everyone that thinks Astonic is a interesting project to join the presale. It's going to happen on StreamSwap. Follow us on Twitter. You'll get all the education about that. But that's like one thing I really wanted to hit on. All the money will be used to, one, build a liquidity pool on Osmosis. So the token will be tradable shortly after the presale. And then the rest of the money will all be used to go into the treasury to over-collateralize Astonic stablecoins from the beginning. So that's something really important I still wanted to say.
Let me phrase the question, if I may, a little bit differently from the way it is written actually there, but I think the meaning of it, yeah. Always with this space of stablecoin, after Terra, I think everyone is very concerned, and I've met actually several projects as well, like from stablecoin, and there are different ways of thinking about that. But you mentioned at some point that in the basket there will be a noble, and I am assuming like a noble, probably you are referring to the noble stable coin.
Yeah, noble USDC.
Yeah, USDC. So let's say the idea is you have this organization which for good or for bad is very kind of established and controlled, which is USDC Circle. And then, different chains, they are minting the coin, right? So Noble is one of them. And let's say they are protected by, let's say, Circle in this sense a little bit. And by, they compliance and by they way of doing it, and protections, all type of protections that they might have. So I am assuming that, you somehow you will acquire those coins one way or other. Yeah. So you would probably need to pay like hard dollars for it. Yeah, most likely. And then they will be added to the basket together with some other coins. And I did this explanation a little bit because the question was, why to back one stable coin by another stable coin? So what is this adding layers of risk one upon the other? Yeah.
That's kind of just how decentralized stablecoins work. It cannot truly be decentralized if we are going to buy treasuries and. Because then you're again a centralized stablecoin. If we do real dollars, we need to back it by a basket of decentralized assets that are stable. I think that Noble USDC is extremely stable. And if we were to obtain, for example, we would do the pre-sale, right? ATC. We would sell, I'm going to say 100K USD is deposited. We sell the tokens. And then from there, we cash out the USDC. We buy treasury bills. Okay, then how do you guys know that we still have the treasury bills? Now we have a contract or a wallet with Noble USDC in it, where you can see that it's there, and it's just kind of how I get the question, because you are taking a stablecoin to back a stablecoin, but that's kind of the point, right? We cannot use real US dollars because then. You cannot put real US dollars in a smart contract. So that's, but I get it. It sounds really silly, but it makes sense. And if this user is still doubtful and doesn't understand it, I also just kind of need to talk to the developers and ask them if they have a better explanation. But that's kind of the reason why you need.
Thom, actually, it was fantastic explanation. It is it is coming to my own consciousness, and it makes me even laugh. So it's like say it's a good thing. Now, of course, you still have that tension, and let me say maybe is a kind of my own assumption. Yeah,
Right.
but let me say that this would be like a continuation of kind of my question or that question by me now. You know, you have this tension between full compliance and decentralization,
Right.
and there is and you know, like a lot of people are saying that there is a way around, but if you really think and if you really want to decentralize, and let's say you have this hard belief that, let's say, if you have $10, so nobody should actually trace these $10. I mean, it's just a shit. You know, like if we want to live in the society where the society is tracing our $10, it's just ridiculous. I mean,
Right.
we can't allow this to happen. And I think, you know, everyone needs to fight for this not to happen. So that's a one thing. But at the same time, you know, when you are trying to be kind of centralized stablecoin, let me call it like that, you cannot avoid all these hard rules, yeah?
No.
And the hard rules is, I mean, whatever those rules will be, because they are a little bit unclear yet, but, you know, many times it will be around, as you said, buying a bonds. So, yeah, so it's tricky, yeah? I think maybe we could conclude that there is a space for everyone in the market.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah? And there's like a lot of benefits of centralized stablecoins. I am definitely not going to be the one that says, no, decentralized stablecoins are the best. No, it's not true. You can earn like really easy yield on centralized stablecoins. You can off ramp it. They are governed. They are like checked by government bodies in the USA and stuff like that. So there's a room for everything. There's room for both. I really like to use Noble USDC, but I also know that it's not decentralized and that there is a risk there. So yeah, definitely room for everyone. And decentralization is a spectrum. There is not like this is decentralized and this isn't. No, this is slightly less decentralized than something that's there, right? It's a spectrum.
Yeah, no, lovely. And you know, I think we need to keep educating, so kind of people understand these like wide spectrums of different situations, and the fact that you know, it's not a kind of black and white, and especially if we want to see also some level of freedom giving to, you know, to the people, and making sure that especially when it comes to small transactions, so this is not a kind of, I would say, does not depend on any type of switch that could be switched off at given time. Yeah,
right.
And
that's the idea.
And I am assuming that in this sense, you are probably working on some kind of decentralized manners for this to happen. But I am also assuming that you know, you need to manage these either via legal entity or via 100% kind of DAO. So what is your choice? And if the choice is legal entity, in which jurisdiction this entity is actually registered?
We're doing DAO.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Cool.
So it's governed by the ATC governance token. It's governed via the governance portal. And as far as I know, again, I am not officially part of their team. I am just helping them spread the message because that's not something they are looking to do themselves. I don't think they have any interest in starting a legal entity. I don't even think they are interested in getting super rich of Astonic or something.
I see. So it would be maybe interesting also, because you mentioned at some point of the conversation that they are not necessarily they not necessarily interested even to give a kind of popularity to their face, right? It's like not necessarily people who are kind of presenting their project this way. Yeah.
Right.
So is there is I understand there is a little bit of I would say maybe even interest to keep it like this, keep it like DAO, making sure that it's decentralized before making any noise, any actually, is even maybe noise is not welcome, so something of this sort.
They are not looking to get famous. They are looking to deploy decentralized software that will facilitate payments. And the cool thing about Astonic now is that they are also working to get stocks, ETFs, and commodities on chain. So then Astonic is starting to be something really interesting that could potentially be like the first in Cosmos to do it, and then the fees could be really nice for Astonic token holders. So they have like, and they hold tokens. So if they do well, of course, they will also reap the benefits of that. But yeah, decentralization is, I urge anyone that's like super interested in this to read the docs. I think they tell you really well that decentralization is the goal. And let's see if they achieve it. I think with the airdrop and the community pool and stuff like that, they're on the good track to not have too much power into your own hands.
Thom, now, like a kind of follow-up question, because, we were arguing that decentralization is good, like maybe delivering those tokens to people first, making sure that many people, they have those tokens so people could vote, right, et cetera, et cetera. Now, like just a curiosity, like how you achieved actually to deliver, token to so many people at the end, you need to convince someone to actually, add your chain or do some steps, right? So you need to convince that person.
Yeah, it's really hard because a lot of people, we contacted all the teams in Cosmos, so the Cosmos Hub, Osmosis, we're in contact with everyone. We told them, listen, this is what we're building, we need to decentralize this coin. And what I try to do is with all those people is like, okay, can we get a snapshot of active stakers? Because active stakers, I rather have 100 active stakers with a bigger allocation of the token than 10,000 people and only 200 are going to claim, right? And the 100 of them are not even that active. So we took all those snapshots, we talked to the teams, and we made sure that the right people said it was safe to claim. I think that's one of the things we did is make sure that like influencers knew that it was safe, that they checked for themselves that it was safe to claim. That's kind of what we did. But apart from that, it is hard to convince people. If they think it's not going to be worth much, they might not claim. I think if you have 2,000 people that are super passionate about Astonic and they claimed, and you have another 2,000 people that are like, okay, I got the token, but I don't really care. I think you have already a nice community. And I think like 20,000 wallets claimed. So that's a lot of people that are hopefully paying attention now to what's going to happen with their token.
Maybe as the last move to show more possibility, like it's several airdrops from Astonic for the stakers of this coin, for the stakers of that coin, of that, maybe to make some summary of this, and maybe just like friends, if you are staker of this and that, go this and that, claim this and that, and after don't forget to at 15th of May go to the stream swap. This is the link. Click here, participate. Just to have something like a guide for the people who will watching us in record.
Right. Yeah. So if you are the 15th of May. 13 to 15 May, we're doing the pre-sale. You can join with USDC. The money will be used for the liquidity pool and to back the stablecoin, right? So that's the 15th of May. Follow the Astonic Twitter page. We will educate you about the process. It's one of the coolest ways to launch a token and to see the price discovery. If you are a staker of Planq Network, Stargaze, Omniflix, if you are a centrifuge user, right? You can, because centrifuge users also eat. Let's see, what else do we have? An Atom staker. If you have a BetKit, if you have a Celatine Sloth, if you have shitmos in the DAO or a shitmos NFT, if you have a mad scientist, if you staked Osmosis, if you have the Atom, so that's drop.money Atom, if you have an on-chain Omni, if you staked Mantra, and I think those people, they can use an airdrop. I think they lost a bit of money. If you're an injective staker, if you are an EVMOS staker, if you on any platform hold ST Atom, so that's Stride Atom, or if you hold Quicksilver Atom, Q Atom, then you are likely eligible for the airdrop. I highly recommend you go to the Astonic Protocol Twitter page. You can find the only safe link there. Claim your tokens. I hope to see you guys in the Planq community. I hope to see you guys join the presale. Just check out the Astonic airdrop page, see if you're eligible. It's completely safe. There's a great guide by Cito, Crypto Cito. So yep, that's about it. That's all I think that's it.
This is so huge and great list of the illegal people. This is sounds great.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a real blast.
For this great summary.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, so thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to speak with you. It was very interesting. Me personally, I learned a lot, and I think community learn a lot. I have a lot of appreciation what you do, guys. It seems very, very interesting, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah, of course. If you guys ever need someone to yap for an hour, I'll happily join again. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about Planq and Astonic, and for the great questions. And also, good luck with your project. It sounds very interesting. You need to send me some info so I can read up on it a little bit more.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye.